Me, 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 me. Goblins over there! Hello, I'm Dexade Dan and welcome to the video on prep. So you've decided you want to be a DM or GM. You've worked out what you want to play, the game you want to play, setting, etc. You've set a date and everyone's on board. Everyone's on board. But how do you prep a session? How do you know what people want to play? How do you keep them happy? How do you incorporate Eddie into every encounter? Well, in this video, we'll go over some of the tips on how to prep a session, where you can start, and hopefully you can figure out what will work for you. I want you to know what will work for you. Now, this will probably be geared towards those who are building their own world, but most of these points will apply to pre-made adventures and modules, and even improv. Now, I will say this isn't an exhaustive list. I'd be here all bloody day if I went into how everyone prepped for a good session. This is mainly how I would prep for a campaign. Let me know in the comments below how you prep for a session. So grab your pens, your pads, laptops, tablets, Etch-a-Sketch. And here we go. First of all, know your world. Now I want to be clear, you don't need to know what every tree, rock, cave, bit of bum fluff looks like in your world. In fact, you don't need to know much at all. All you really need to know is, what's the environment like? Is it set in a town? Is it set in a forest? Is it set in a city? Is it a bit Rockatansky and set in a post-apocalyptic desert? Is it a bit frozen tundra? Boosh. Have an idea of what people's moods are. Are they angry? Are they content? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they horny? All you need is an idea. So you have that idea of how NPCs will react to your characters in the world. Have an idea of what the weather's going to do. Are your players going to be freezing their balls off in a cave somewhere? Are there any social or political influences that could affect your players? For example, are gnomes a sex symbol in your world? I mean, gnomes should be a sex symbol in all our worlds. Let's face it. If you want to plan a massive overarching storyline with political intrigue and social unrest and mysteries and a big bad guy that wants to slay your players, then fill your boots. But if you're new to the hobby, you might find it a bit overwhelming. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. I've been there, man. Next up, understanding the player characters and the players themselves. If you've had your session 0 and you've got someone who's built a cool Deadeye archer, for the love of God, give them something to shoot. With your players' builds, they should give you an idea of the sort of things you want to put in your encounters and the game itself. Puzzle solvers, dashing princesses, a juggernaut of a halfling that wants to steamroll through everything. You don't have to cram everything all in one encounter. That would be f***ing madness. What are you, f***ing mental? You f***ing madman. I love it. Next, start simple. As mentioned, you might have grand ideas for an epic story, which is alright, but start simple. Let me give you an example. Are you ready? They're a pirate crew that have shipwrecked near the harbour town of Gilhelm. They find themselves in the local tavern, drowning their sorrows using the little coin they have left in their pockets. While chugging away, the mayor of the town bursts through the doors screaming, my kin have been kidnapped. Of course the crew volunteer their services for a little bit of coin and a seaworthy vessel. He reluctantly agrees as he wants his children back safe, but he doesn't trust the strangers. He has his dwarven bodyguard, Crumb, ride you out to the last place the goblins have been seen. As you reach your destination, you see a giant tree, and where the roots are, a giant cave guarded by 2 goblins. Now, comment section, please let me know how wrong I am by starting a campaign like this. I really, really want to know. Tell me how you would start a campaign. So this is how I started my campaign. Yes, simple, but so are my players. And yes, in a tavern. But you can start any way you want. It's completely up to you. Sometimes all you need is some orcs, goblins, cultists, bandits, to nick a kid. It's comforting, like a Sunday roast, or an Indiana Jones movie, or the smell of a movie rental store. Remember the smell of a movie rental store? I do. I do. You don't need to overwhelm your players with loads of lore or storytelling at the start. Keep it simple.
KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Next, 3 encounters per session. That's right, it's the magic number. Yes, it is. Now, an encounter doesn't need to be something that's mega crazy or anything like that. It could be a chat with a shopkeeper, solving a puzzle, fighting a gang of lizard men, exploring an abandoned warehouse, escaping a crumbling temple, pleasing a gnome. You know how. So what I'm getting at is these encounters can be as simple as a sentence. Part of the beauty of this game is how your players might react to those encounters. This could lead to something that you didn't think about. Collaborative storytelling. Like I say, I usually have about 3 encounters prepped. They may encounter all 3. They may get through half an encounter. They might get through 2/3 of an encounter. They might get through 2 encounters. They might get through 1 encounter. Say encounter again. That was a Mean Girls joke. That's one for the ladies and men. That's for everyone. That's for...
Girl power.
Don't worry about how many or how little you get through. You can always run it on into the next session. Know your NPCs. So you want some cool characters for your players to interact with? Absolutely, we all want that. But like I said before, and I will keep saying, keep them simple. Keep it simple. Keep everything simple. So when I'm creating an NPC, these are the simple steps that I follow. Appearance. How old are they? How young are they? What race are they? Do they have any cool scars? Demeanour. Are they happy, grumpy, bashful, dopey? Wait, what? Occupation. Are they a blacksmith? Are they bar staff? Bar staff? Bar staff? Yeah, they're working down the local f***ing Fashions or Yates's. Hello, can I get you a drink? Pint of ale? Peroni, no, just ale. Are they a farmer? Are they an apothecarist? Apothecary. Comment below. Are they a mercenary? Wants. What do they want? Do they want all the money in the world? Do they want peace to the city? Do they want death to all goblins? Do they want the undying love of a gnome? Do they want to find the lost city? Do they want to find the best pie they've ever tasted? Flaws. What flaws do they have? Are they greedy? Do they give too much information? Are they easily offended? Comment below. Are they quick to attack? Do they not attack quick enough? Are they a bloody werewolf? And lastly, of course, the name. Now, you can set up all of the above and come up with a name yourself. That's absolutely fine. But there are loads of name generators out there that will do your fantasy names, your Wild West names, your pirate names, your sci-fi names. Trust me, you never know when your players are going to walk up to some random person that you've got in the street or at a tavern or in a castle and want to have a chat with them.
Old woman! Man! Ma'am, sorry.
So honestly, if you follow these simple steps to prep a load of NPCs, just simple name, appearance, demeanour, wants and flaws, you can literally pick them out of a hat. Now you might need to do a little bit of improv, you know, think on the fly, but that's all part of the game. Video coming up about that. Don't go overboard. Just like starting simple, keep it simple. Coming up with weaving, winding mysteries can be fun, same as having a big battle planned with your big bad guy, but who knows where the players are going to end up. In fact, all you really need to do is come up with a cool little hook and some prepped encounters, and the players will do the rest for you. Collaborative storytelling. Remember, having an idea of what's going on in your world is usually enough to come up with something on the fly. You can always prep something for the next session. That's absolutely fine. Just let your players know that you're going to do that and that you need to do that. They should understand. You're prepping everything after all, remember? They're doing all. That's just about to say. Make notes. Make notes. Now this may sound silly, but make some notes. I have no doubt that most of you out there, especially if you're part of this hobby, will have books and books of notes, ideas, campaigns, and all of that. But as you know, I hate reading. I hate writing. I hate maths. Is this the game for me? I'm not sure anymore. Comment below. So I watched a video of Kelsey Dion's a while ago where she went over how she makes notes, and it fit me like a glove. I simply use an A5 notepad. On the left pages are all my notes, the encounter itself, what's going on, stat blocks, some loot tables, some loot ideas, that sort of thing. On the right, I'll usually have my map, some drawings of NPCs, enemies, and that sort of thing. Easy to flip through, easy to go back if needed, easy to navigate. Again, I love keeping things simple, really simple, like my players. Simple. I don't know if that's all right. Is that PC? Lastly, one session at a time. It's been a through line of the video, but you really don't need to overwhelm yourself with everything that's going on in your world or everything that's going on in the story. All I do is drop some hooks or suggestions to my players as they're playing. The king's gone missing and this is where he was last seen. You need to speak to an NPC to get your blade silvered. The queen can be found here. If at the end of the session it's not obvious, you can ask your players where they'd like to go. Even if you ask them that question, they're not really going to know. They're going to sit around talking for another hour, arguing, bickering. So sometimes you might need to push them in the right direction. That's railroading. We'll get into that in another video. Comment below. So just remember, one session at a time. So I did also want to touch on modules. So you've decided you want to run a D&D module. What's wrong with you? No, seriously, are you all right? If you are running a module or an adventure, have a read through it first. Just know what's going on in it. You're gonna need to know. Most of what I've mentioned in the video today will absolutely still apply to what you're doing with that module. Make notes, try and keep it simple, one session at a time, all of that good stuff. Personally, I don't run too many modules, but I certainly do nick sections if they're good. So I will nick sections of a module and slot it into my campaign. I nick everything, absolutely everything. I haven't got an original thought in my head. So thank you for joining me today for this video on prep. I hope you found it useful and you can take something away from it. Yes, it's for more of the beginner, but if there's something in there that you haven't used before that you might find useful, brilliant. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your mates, all of that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go prep.